Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Baseless Speculation, the pop culture, some of the research so you don't have to. I'm Joel.
I'm Jackson.
And I'm Joel.
And we're joined by special guest...
Me, Grace. Hello.
Yay!
Welcome to
Welcome.
the show. And we're joined by you and to ask the very incredible question we have. What do we think is going to happen in Freakier Friday?
Took the Friday,
Yeah.
and they made it freakier.
They took... it was pretty freaky.
It was a freaky Friday to begin with.
I feel like that.
What?
Look, I hate to do this straight off the bat
What?
before we started,
What?
but I feel like this is a reoccurring thing. Why is your microphone pointed at your chest?
It's fine. It's picking me up. Is it not picking me up?
I don't know. It's over there.
I'm seeing my freaking
good?
wild form. You got the best eyeball of it.
Yeah, and who's the one who told you about it?
Yeah. Oh, does it sound? Am I not coming
Okay,
up?
look at the waveforms.
Why
Okay.
is it pointing at your chest?
I don't
What are
know.
you doing? 10 years in.
Get off my goddamn case.
You play with it and you keep slamming it into your chest.
Every day I come to
Sending
work.
secret messages, just your heartbeat in the background.
That's all
like
I'm
playing
trying
a
to
Beatles
do.
record backwards.
I'm just trying to connect to the people through my heartbeat.
Yeah.
Every day I come into the studio and get made fun of.
Yeah.
I get yelled at every day.
10 years in, and the amount of I guess different mics we've used, different stands we've used, different mic arms we've used just to try and deal with,
It's
The
not
Jackson,
helping.
the Jackson,
the Jackson problem.
Not helping.
Along with everyone else,
I need
to be honest.
I need a handheld mic that I can stick into my mouth. That's my
But then you
ideal.
sniff that microphone.
Yeah, and drop it.
Yeah.
And often unplugging it, I don't know how, but you do.
Anyway, thanks so much for joining us, Grace.
Hello. To be fair, they don't really teach mic technique
Yeah.
Exactly.
in stand-up comedy school.
Yeah,
You're just sort of
that's
like,
fair.
go up
That's
there, hold it.
Yeah.
So everyone has kind of a different method, and
Yeah.
none of them are really working.
He's not a stand-up comic.
Well, that's true.
And
Yeah.
he's been doing podcasts for 10 years.
You should,
I
yeah.
taught him mic technique.
I
So
haven't-
it's on me.
When
You should
did
do a
you teach me
course. I'll
mic
get some
technique?
comedians in here. We'll do mic
Yeah,
technique.
well,
I don't think
afterwards.
anybody ever sat me down and taught me mic
I
technique.
It was
definitely did.
part of the
It was
class that
part
we
of it.
met in.
Just, two,
You
fists.
did a radio class in university. Do you think that wouldn't have come up?
But in my defense, I was a terrible student.
In his defense, he was.
Okay. Bad student, not paying attention in class.
Dropped out of an arts degree to do a medieval degree? What did you do?
I just dropped.
Poetry?
No, I
You just dropped out.
I dropped out to do this.
No. Before that, you changed.
No,
changed
I just as electives I did.
Or did you drop all media courses and then started just going? Because I know you were doing like witch shit.
Yeah.
He was doing archaeology
I was
for a
doing
bit.
archaeology. I was doing paleoarchaeology and shit, and
maybe?
anthropology and witches. I did do a subject on witches.
I think that's what I'm thinking.
It was awesome.
You
That subject on
diverted from
witches.
media.
I think
You're like, I've started a podcast.
The version-
Media classes don't need them anymore.
I'm on his
Witches
side.
didn't help.
I'm on his side. Which
I
just
think
sounds more
They
fascinating
might have
than I was
helped.
I think
You're
my-
the person who did the media class microphone pointed at my mouth.
You show me a witch, I'm your guy.
Analyze this witch for me
Exactly.
immediately.
So
It's crazy that you maintained a friendship post-university, even though you dropped out of university. I'm not friends with anyone I went to university with that finished the degree.
Well,
Yeah.
we
Well,
had
that-
this,
yes.
thankfully. If
Yeah.
we didn't have this, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe in a gutter somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Analyzing witches of the mind.
I think if we didn't have this, I'd have been killed by a Tommy gun, I think. By like a cartoon gangster, you know?
Yeah.
You're at the bank.
Yeah, like just on the street, just riddled full of bullets.
no, you just would have gotten hit by a bus.
Oh yes, I would have gotten hit by a bus. That is true.
Not funny.
No,
just
but yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
another
And
statistic.
it's not off the table.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
it's
it's still
coming.
it's on the
still
like,
on, man.
It's on the cards.
Still on.
It's not even on the table. It's on the card.
Every time we go, okay, welcome to, I guess, airing our grievances. I don't know what it is, Grace, that you've done, but you've brought it out enough.
I've been back in the country like 4 days,
God,
and you guys are like, we
we're
have
fighting.
a lifetime's worth of complaints about each other.
No, just
about
Jackson.
me.
I don't know. We're fine. Another.
The last time I saw both of you, we found the only Nazi grave in London.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And isn't it a dog's grave?
It's a
A
Yeah,
dog's
it's a
grave.
Nazi
A
dog's
Nazi
grave.
dog.
Yeah.
and it really
Oh,
made it
no.
seem like you guys wanted to go look, because we really were just standing on a corner
Yeah.
being like, what should we do now? And then we looked down and it was like, this is the only Nazi grave in London. And we were like, it looks like we've come here on purpose.
Yeah, to visit the Nazi dog's grave.
I mean,
It's tiny. There's no sign.
The Nazi dog's grave is pretty crazy to see. It's also funny. I think
How
that
do you teach a?
Well,
how
this
does-
is-
how do you make a dog a Nazi?
this is insanely a
This is
question that
true.
in our oeuvre as podcasts, the amount of times we've discussed if a dog could be a Nazi,
It's not.
it's more than five, probably. I don't think so.
It's more than zero.
A
Which
dog
is, I think,
can't.
more than other.
But you can make your dog racist.
No, you can't. It's just your dog will just. You're racist.
But like how if you raise children,
Yeah, is it
if
nature
you're
or
racist,
nurture?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
If I make my dog hate Koreans, say,
Yeah. But then you hate Korean.
no, I have no problem with them.
But then how do you? Because we learn behavior.
I think this episode's gonna be really good for the algorithm.
It's like conversion therapy. You're just flashing like Korean boy bands in front of your dog to be like,
Why are you doing that,
while
Jackson?
poking
I
him in
don't
the
know.
back.
Yeah.
The opposite of Pavlov's dog.
I'm a maniac, I guess.
Yeah, I should be in prison. Well, I'm glad that dog died.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, dude.
Yeah, fuck that dog.
Fuck that Nazi dog.
Yeah.
It sucks that we buried it. Gave
Yeah.
it a bit like a graveyard. But
We should have set it on fire in London Square.
It was truly a crazy hang because it was like, Grace, you want to go to the park? And then we were like, what's this grave here? Googling it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because we're like, oh, crazy, it's a dog's grave.
Yeah.
And then we Googled it, like, it's a
Nazi
Nazi dog's
dog.
grave.
what was the Nazi dog's name? Do you remember? Tell me more about this Nazi dog. Freakier Friday.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll get
Nazi
to it.
dog. Now we're
Tell
cooking,
me,
dude.
and why was it given like a burial?
I don't remember.
It was under a tree and it
Yeah.
was a very tiny gravestone. So initially I thought it was a baby.
yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, there were so many like big plinths and statues of like colonizers
Yeah.
around that I was like, this seems like it's like
St.
a
James's
colonizer's
Park
baby.
is where it's
Yeah,
buried.
okay.
Yeah. And then I Googled it and it was like a WordPress website. It wasn't even on Wikipedia. It was
Yeah.
like, it's a very deep cut Nazi dog.
How did they get it back? Did it like go and surf on the front lands and then
Then
come
it came
back?
home.
And then it's just like when war broke out, the dog's like, I know what to
I
do.
know where I'm
Looks
going.
around.
I know
like,
how
"Nah."
my bread's buttered.
He's like, make me a red collar immediately. I'm on board.
I don't remember. Oh, did it belong to?
It belonged to a Nazi.
But was it a Nazi living in England?
Yes.
Like, yes, I've,
it's
I've
just
escaped from the fall. Oh no, my dog!
Well,
I will bury it in this park.
Giro, Giro. Giro?
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 What does that
Died
mean?
before World War II just because it chewed through an electrical cable.
Oh, so no.
So that's
what,
the
that-
dog was
Yeah,
Giro.
the dog
Chewed through electrical cable.
died.
Yeah.
Owner died
And
of a
did-
heart attack
Okay.
2 years later.
So
Also before World War II.
Did the chewing of the thing cause something that made the Nazis like was like chewing through electrical cord caused something that
Yeah.
Nazis were like, yes,
that's
that
good.
dog is clearly working for us.
Yeah, how did we decide the dog was a Nazi? I mean,
think it was-
Nazism existed before the breakout of World War II, but still.
It was like London like refused to have any Nazi memorials or any like memorials to anyone that was a villain in the Second World War, which
Yeah.
it's like there's a lot more villains
Yeah.
than you think there are, but this one was like a loophole because it had already been buried
Yeah.
before
I
its owner
see.
did a bunch of stuff that meant that London wouldn't have wanted him buried.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was the
You're not going
German.
to dig up a dog, I
No,
guess.
He was
Yeah.
a career German diplomat.
Okay.
And I think he.
did the grave? I have to ask.
Yeah.
Did the little grave of the thing? Did it have a swastika?
I think maybe it did.
Yeah.
Is that why I Googled it?
I feel at that point you don't have to dig up the dog.
But you
No.
can change the
Maybe you
tombstone.
can change the
You can
tombstone.
change
The tombstone's in German. That's why we looked it up.
Oh,
We're like,
okay.
what's going on
okay,
here?
yes.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't, yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe the dog
Because if there
wasn't.
was a swastika, we would have just been like, well, that
Oh,
makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, Nazi dog. Yeah, tight.
Or
okay.
I guess
I'm across
Nazi
it.
baby, because it was a very small grave.
Nazi
Yeah.
baby. They buried a Nazi baby. Sad. Complicated.
Complicated.
Well, it's cool that that dog did what the leader of the Nazi party also did and killed itself.
That's
Yeah.
true. Whoa, dude.
Crazy to imagine Adolf just like holding into an electrical cable.
Like a rat, dude.
I can imagine that.
That's actually, that makes a lot more sense for him.
Exactly. It's like Eva Brown, you take this
you choose
end,
this
I
cable.
choose this, and start going to town. Good shit. Good
That's
shit.
awesome, dude.
I was just talking last night to Cass about how I was electrocuted when I was living in Melbourne because my rabbit, who wants me dead,
Oh yeah.
chewed through a cable and I didn't know that she had.
Yeah.
So I plugged in that cable and I got like thrown backwards.
Whoa!
That's crazy.
You got like cartoon electric shock.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it is like that. That's crazy.
And then did you have the cool thing of like for about 10 to 15 minutes you feel so powerful?
I felt very like buzzy.
Yeah. And then after that, because I've had electric shocks from working in unsafe workplaces.
Yeah.
Not here, surprisingly.
Yeah,
That is
what
crazy.
The hell?
There's
so
cables here.
Can I recommend a rabbit?
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a couple of electric shocks, and every time it's happened, I'm like, and then I'm like, I feel like I could stop a car.
Oh, yeah, you could
and then I'm
climb a
like,
mountain.
and then all of a sudden I'm so tired and have the worst headache I've ever had.
Okay, how long does that last for?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, so if you're an Olympian, right? I know
Oh,
you
true.
can't do drug, but what you could do is
Chew on a
maybe
battery.
chew on a battery, just a little bit of electric shock,
Yeah.
and then do the 100
meter
meters
sprint, whatever,
right? You don't
yeah.
need 10 minutes. You can get that done pretty quick.
That's great. And then you go up on the podium, gold medal for Australia. I'm so tired.
Electric shock.
Yeah, hold up the medal.
Lightning. Yeah.
If you get struck by lightning before running the 100-meter sprint.
Yeah.
Is lightning a PED? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, but
Performance
Now-
enhancing drug.
Now remind me, in Freaky Friday, do they get struck by lightning?
No. Well, this is
to
very
switch
funny. Do you remember how
brains?
they switched in the original one?
No.
It's Chinese restaurant
Yeah, they
related.
eat a cursed fortune cookie.
Yeah.
Because an old Chinese woman is like, these two are bickering. Time to make them
to
swap
curse 'em.
brains.
Now, and I see that Disney's made the bold call to remove very,
Yeah.
very interesting cultural.
And at the very end
Choices.
of Freaky Friday
Yeah.
as well, once they've gone back, the grandpa and his grandson are bickering, and they've got the same Chinese restaurant. I don't know why I remember this. They get the same Chinese restaurant to cater the wedding. They were at a wedding. I don't know why. Anyway, and the grandpa and the grandson are bickering, and the old Chinese woman again is like, "Oh," and her son is like, "Grandma," which like she should stop doing that.
This is just,
Don't play God, old Chinese woman.
this is just her shtick.
Yeah,
It's one
she
of
just
her like family bits where it's like,
huh?
I'm gonna
come
Freaky
on,
Friday
don't do it
everyone.
again.
Grandma. She must do that to
Yeah.
the family's probably
Yeah.
going through it.
They're
You would
active
never
in-
have a disagreement in that household.
They must do it like every Christmas.
Yeah. Grandma, these fortune cookies, they just normal?
Normal?
Yeah.
You'd stop eating things she gave you.
Absolutely. Grandma's going to make
Come
me swap brains with the
on,
dog.
Eat the cookie for grandma.
Swapping brain. Hard to learn a lesson.
Grandma's been seeing me and the dog disagreeing more and more.
Yeah, hard to learn a lesson
Your
as a
life's
dog.
so awesome, dog. I wish I lived your life. And the dog's, it's
Dog's
a
like,
dog.
I want to open the fridge.
You know it's
Dexterity.
fucked up to
I
me,
long
dude.
for dexterity.
Surely at that point, it's like, Grandma, you really got to stop giving these cursed fortune cookies around. Then
Yeah.
she has a bickering. And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
she
Then you're swapping
switches-
with grandma, dude.
Yeah, and then
but
she
yeah,
learns a
they
lesson.
appeared for Freakier Friday. They appear to have gotten rid of the
Unnecessary racial elements.
the
Yeah.
Chinese restaurant that does this to people.
So now it opens with, the trailer opens with a fortune teller.
Yeah.
Who's just like, I can see that fucked up things have happened in the past.
yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan.
Yes,
Also,
they have.
welcome back, Lindsay.
I know.
Yes.
God damn.
She cameoed in the Mean Girls movie last year, but yeah, it
No
seems
one
like
saw it?
she's back.
Yeah.
I think it did okay.
Well, that's good.
Made like $100 million. It's a
More than I'd ever
musical.
made. So good for them.
All the musical nerds were mad because instead of casting actual musical theatre singers, they cast random.
Tina Fey.
Yeah, they just were like, how about this person? And it's like, there are people who've been doing this job on stage professionally for years.
But
Maybe one of
You
those.
don't want a Dear Evan
Counter-
Hansen situation.
No,
Well,
but
that's
there's
true.
counterpoint, Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah, that's
Which
true.
does rock and is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's so
He
funny.
Really, they made. There's just
Gotta
like a
watch
few.
that movie,
There's
dude.
just like a few changes they could have made to that movie, and it would have been fine and not embarrassing.
It's like one of the, because I watched it on the plane coming
Yeah.
back from the UK or something, and it's like
After we paid our respects to the dog we hate.
exactly, and it's such a legitimate highlight for me watching Dear Evan Hansen and laughing in my seat. Like it made me not much makes me laugh out loud, dude. Like it's just, I mean, like this,
You live
know,
a sad life.
I'm a morose man.
Yeah.
But Dear Evan Hansen, dude, it
I
killed
don't think
me.
I saw it. The trailer looked like he was so grey and pallid that I was
Do you know the-
stressed.
Plot?
He like pretends to be friends with a guy who killed himself so he can fuck his sister.
Yes.
More or less.
And on top of that, he also has recently attempted suicide.
Yeah.
But he attempts suicide by jumping out of a tree,
Yeah.
which you see, and I think in a stage play, because just you're told the
idea of a
idea of it.
tree. Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, like
Big
my
tree.
brain
Big tree,
doesn't have
sure,
to.
yeah, damn.
But then when you see it in the movie, it's
It's a
not,
tree.
It's a tree, yeah.
He's got to save that orchard, dude.
Yeah,
The
he's-
orchard, he says, was the guy who killed himself's favorite orchard in the world, but I think wasn't. And they make a Kickstarter, and that's like a huge part of the plot.
There's an orchard?
There's an orchard. Let me tell you,
So
dude.
few musicals have orchards in them.
Yeah, it's a huge plot point. The orchard, because he makes up because that's maybe where he jumped out of the tree. I don't know, dude.
So the first
Wait, did
guy-
the guy who successfully killed himself also jump
Yeah.
out of a tree?
no, he
I think
hangs
he-
himself.
yeah, I
Well,
think on
that's
the
a
tree?
classic.
Yeah.
No. It's the orchard is just somewhere he brings up when he's lying to the family, and then he's like, "We need to save the orchard because the orchard doesn't have enough money. I don't know how much money an orchard needs."
I guess as many apples as it makes.
Yeah, and then or it's like gonna get run down or like it's abandoned or
An
something.
abandoned orchard.
An abandoned orchard is just a forest.
Yeah,
field, really.
and then he's like,
That's
"We need
just
to
trees.
yeah.
Because another plot point, great
Yeah.
plot point in the movie, is that it's at the school. They're doing like a eulogy for the guy who killed himself, and Evan Hansen does a speech so good it
Oh,
goes
yeah.
viral. It like is so good because people are
Yeah.
filming him because they're
Of
like,
course,
this motherfucker
He
Evan
knew.
Hansen sucks. How funny is it going to be when he whiffs it on stage?
Okay, so they're like a classmate of ours
Yeah.
who everyone hated?
Yes.
Or they
Yeah.
liked?
Yeah, he was like a bad
so,
kid.
okay,
Like
so
he was
okay,
Evan
hated-
Hansen and the other guy who
Yeah.
actually dies.
Yeah, both hated.
are
Okay,
hated.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so it's like a guy we hate whom died, and even if like
Who, by the
know.
way, is in challenges.
Oh, huge.
Wait, is it Jacob? Fuck, what's his name?
don't
The
know.
guy, the tall, handsome one.
I don't know, dude.
The one that plays art.
He's the only one in
haven't
Dear
the
Evan Hansen
concept?
with any charisma.
No, the name.
Oh.
I haven't
He's the
seen
one-
Challenges, so this is going to be. I don't know why I haven't seen Challenges.
You
The
gotta
movie's-
see challenges, can
Yeah.
I say? I saw it 3 times in the cinema. It's one of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
I've heard that it's very horny, but without being.
Yeah, sex
No
is
sex.
tennis, tennis is sex, everything is tennis, everything is sex.
Whoa, huge.
Tennis is crazy.
Tennis is crazy.
Isn't the first like tennis is sex movie? Is there right? There wasn't there one with maybe Scarlett Johansson and Javier Bardem?
Where tennis was sex?
There's Wimbledon, which is
No,
someone,
Paul Bettany maybe.
Yeah, Paul Bettany and
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst.
Maybe.
And then there's also match.
And isn't there
the
another
Woody,
one?
Yeah, the Woody Harrelson, Woody
Allen one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all of the girls who were Mary Jane and Spider-Man have since been in tennis movies.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
What does it mean? Something.
Match point.
Tennis players just horny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tennis is a
Tennis
horny
viewers-
sport, I think.
Why is
Because
it
they're
that?
always grunting and moaning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no like background noise. You have to be silent.
Thank
it's
you. I
like-
had to show some grunting
And
off
it's the
for
only
people.
like sport you can eat like strawberries and cream.
The
in
only
the-
one.
What?
in the stand, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's at Wimbledon or whatever.
They give you can
Yeah.
buy strawberries and cream at Wimbledon.
You're not doing that at the footy.
That
They
is
should,
true.
though.
They should.
They should let you eat strawberries and cream at the
saying.
footy, dude, at the AFL.
Is that a sexy food?
Strawberries and cream? Yeah.
Okay.
Strawberries is sexy. It's one of the sexiest fruits.
Yeah.
It goes peach, plum, strawberry, melon, cherry.
Cherry's higher.
Cherry's a bit higher than melon.
Well, I
Well,
think
here's
it's
the
a
thing.
personal
Jackson,
taste.
I don't know if anyone was looking Jackson in the eye when that list just popped out. Jackson just remembered five fruits and just said them
Five
in a
sexy fruits.
Yeah.
Plum's not sex.
Plum can be sexy. You're crazy.
Yes,
You're
insane.
crazy if you don't. Plum has got a sort of beautiful elegance
Yeah,
to
dude.
it, dude.
Are you just thinking of plump, the word?
No, I'm imagining a plum, the fruit.
Yeah.
Dripping down your chin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Peach, out of it, where apricot, I'm like, it's almost peach adjacent, but because the word is like apricot, not sexy.
Also,
Because it's got
no,
ape in it.
no
Yeah.
strawberry.
No, strawberry's on there.
Strawberry was top.
Strawberry was number 1.
I don't know if
Strawberry,
I would say
peach,
strawberry,
plum.
cherry, peach.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then I sort of run out of
yeah.
opinions.
Yeah.
Melon to me isn't on the list.
No, again, it's just a word
It's
that.
fuckable.
It's a fuckable fruit.
I actually,
You can fuck most fruits.
now that
Yeah,
we're
but
thinking
it's-
about it,
yeah.
I think melon is maybe the most fuckable fruit
Yeah.
if you have a penis.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you can just put a hole in
Yeah,
it.
do a little
there's a lot
hole
to
in it.
work with.
It's like a biodegradable fleshlight.
And then
It's
a
like so
pumpkin
is
for
like a
Halloween.
pawpaw.
You can do the same
Yes.
thing with.
A pawpaw is great. That's got texture.
Yeah, okay,
Pawpaw's
listeners-
sexy fruit too.
I work in a sex shop, so I know a lot about the internal textures of fleshlights now.
What about papaya?
What?
A papaya.
That's like yeah.
That's
funny
just through
that just
everybody.
threw everybody.
Let me think about a
I had to think
papaya.
about a papaya. Well, I realize that I'm confusing a papaya and a pawpaw. What's a papaya
I
look
think
like?
they might be the
Are
same.
they exactly the same thing? I'm just stupid
I don't
as
know.
shit.
I think we call them pawpaws and everyone else calls them papayas, maybe.
Oh, okay. I think it's actually hard for me to think of a not sexy fruit.
Durian
Durian, very
Spiky.
unsexy.
and stinky.
The stinky, I don't know, but the spiky on the outside. Sort of.
Pineapple?
Wait, hang on. Go back to hang on. The
I think
spiky on
pineapple
the
is still
outside.
What about the
fuckable.
ridges on a durians? I can see it.
Pineapple. Yeah, that'll eat you.
Yeah,
so no.
pineapple's not sexy. I'll agree.
Oh!
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it'd
No,
be
I'm coming around.
Stinging, maybe.
On
Yeah.
a beach, though, hang on. You got to cut it into strips. It's very juicy.
Or but you core it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The slurp, I was like, oh, okay, he's won me over. And then the noise, I was like, you know what? No.
Because I'm sucking on the core
Yeah,
of my
dude.
mind.
I think a coconut has a sexiness in its like media representation, but a coconut itself,
Yeah.
very
Annoying.
unsexy.
Dirty
Annoying.
often.
Yeah.
They've got a gritty.
Coconut
hard.
straw, though.
Coconut bra, sexy.
Awesome.
This is yeah.
We're back.
What about banana? Now I know it is very phallic shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also
I-
very mushy.
Yeah, I would argue that despite its sexual
Yeah.
role play as a pretend penis, that it's the least sexy fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I think you're right. I think it's bottom 5.
It's awful.
Absolutely.
Definitely, definitely.
Tastes
definitely.
bad, too soft.
Whoa.
What about this?
Pear
Whoa.
or
Tastes
something
bad.
Bananas.
Tastes good.
Let's,
Tastes good. Okay, Grace, tastes good.
Grace, we'll let you make some claims on this show.
Bananas are good.
Bananas are good.
This is controversial.
You've been talking to our friend Cass and your friend Cass too much. She also hates bananas.
Why would you? Bananas, they're like the perfect. I mean, I know Zamet's got complicated feelings about
I
the
have
banana.
very complicated opinions about the bananas. My wife brought this up in recently when I wasn't there, and everyone's like, "Your husband's strange."
Oh, wait,
I went, fair enough.
is your thing with bananas?
I hate them. Let's meeting them.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, yeah, you'll eat
It's
it.
literally, I'm holding a banana. No, disgusting, gross. Get away from me. I don't want it.
Oh, yuck.
No. Ooh.
That's valid, actually. No, I get that.
Your
Thank
ideal
you.
situation is we put you under anesthetic,
You close my eyes.
Yeah.
You're like,
and then okay, now we wake him up. Oh, delicious.
I love
okay,
bananas.
he's finishing the banana. Send him back again.
It's like as I'm stirring awake, don't have to put me under. I don't touch you with any anesthetic. Just wake
we
me up
killed him.
with when you put like a treat in your sleeping dog.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like,
What's this,
yeah.
I
banana?
think that I like bananas once every 2 years.
Is it on
when are
the
you
same
due?
date? What happens?
No, I think just every few years, occasionally, I'm like, huh. And I have a banana. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that was all right. And then the next day, I'm back to not liking them.
Okay, can you give us a run up to like what that's like? There is in like, is it kind of like a thing where for like a couple of days before the day that you like bananas,
Yeah.
you like thinking about bananas a bit
Yeah,
more?
I guess it's like it's like when you have a conversation with someone about something and then suddenly you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like it suddenly comes into
yeah.
the forefront.
Vitamin
Bananas are
Yeah.
always there, but
Suddenly now you're noticing them.
few years and
Yeah.
it comes into
Yeah.
focus, and I go, oh yeah, all right.
Okay.
And then you eat. Is it just an
Like in
eat?
a video game where like something is pulsing. That's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it
Oh, okay. I'll try
Okay.
that.
And then,
it's
so do
banana
you
time.
eat one
Just
banana,
one banana,
and it's
or is
good?
it like a sort of banana frenzy?
no, I think it's one banana because there are foods where I have a frenzy and then yogurt.
Yeah.
I'm like
Oof.
heaps of yogurt and then I'm like no more yogurt.
That's
Yeah,
fair,
I
that's
get
fair.
it.
I get that.
I've been doing that with Brazilian lemonade at the moment.
Nice.
Okay.
It's so good.
It's so
But I
good.
Can't stop making it, and I can tell my stomach is like, please
Oh, yeah,
stop
dude.
making me eat so many lime.
No, brother, citrus rock.
Too bad, idiot.
You're the least scurvy
Yeah, dude.
person in Australia.
Because I'll make it. And I'll be like, I'll finish up doing it, whatever, and then I'll pour a glass, and I'll have a glass. I'll be like, delicious. Then I go and sit on the couch, and I'm like reading, or I'm like on my phone, and then I'm like, wow, could go another glass. And then I finished the whole thing that I've made of it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I need 2 more limes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I make it
It is
again.
delicious.
It's so delicious.
so
So
tasty.
cats hate citrus. Do you reckon you've had enough Brazilian lemonade that cats now currently hate you?
Yeah, dude. I think if I breathed on one of the studio cats, it would run away in fear.
That's an exciting power to have.
yeah.
I think so.
Jackson Bailey, cats hate him.
No, it's good. It's better to eat more citrus than not enough citrus because it's so embarrassing to have scurvy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's like, you're not a fucking pirate.
Yeah,
How is this
exactly.
happening?
I know
Yeah,
like
you-
3
okay.
people who have had scurvy
Really?
in
Yeah.
Whoa.
Australia.
Yeah.
Well,
The land of fruit.
Yeah.
You're currently in a room where I think one person generally often will think they've had scurvy once in their life, and we have another friend who often thinks they have scurvy.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. It's embarrassing how often it's happening.
What happens
to
with
people
what are the
in my
symptoms
life.
of scurvy?
I don't know, but you've thought you've had scurvy before.
No,
You get cuts at the corner of your
you
mouth.
were like, I'm coming off a plane, and you're like, I think I got scurvy.
that wasn't me.
That was you.
Scurvy's
This was
like-
years ago. Also, it's an Adam thing as well.
Yeah. It's more an Adam thing, but I do
thing.
remember when you thought you had scurvy.
Yeah.
I don't know what scurvy is.
I was
You
puzzling
get-
why you thought you had it then.
get,
I don't know.
grey skin and cuts at the
Grey?
corner of your
Yeah.
mouth. And
That's fucked up.
And you get
feel
like
sick.
it's like your immune system's lowered, so like you're like more likely to get rashy and shit
yeah,
too. Yeah.
well,
I
So I know when
Okay.
Adam thinks
like
he
a
has
cartoon
scurvy,
pirate.
it's
Yeah.
because he's like, oh, I got a rash on my.
yeah. Well, initially I was like, maybe lime's not as sexy, as but maybe
Yeah.
very sexy.
Oh, limes are sexy.
Oh,
Lime is
yeah.
sexier than a lemon. I'll
Yeah,
say.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Lemon's not that
Sure.
sexy.
What about-
grapefruit? Very sexy.
Grapefruit, yeah, very sexy. What about orange? What does orange fall?
Yeah.
No, it's bottom 5.
Bottom 5.
What about apple?
It's not sexy, but it's underappreciated. The orange.
Yeah,
Orange
I
is
can
on
see
the
Forget
that.
about oranges
Yeah.
all
I
the
feel
time,
like the
and then when I
people-
remember about them, I'm like, oh my god,
Oranges are good.
More sexy than a mandarin, though.
But I
Yes,
feel
for
like
sure.
the reason
That's
people forget
crazy
about
to me.
oranges is because I feel like once you get into oranges, then mandarins are the next step, and then you
I
forget
don't
all
like
about.
mandarins.
I think a mandarin is a sexy orange.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no. See, I guess it's like, I don't know. Mandarins are like, you know.
softer.
Yeah, it's like.
It's more delicate.
for babies.
yeah, it's associated with primary school.
Yeah. Well,
It's like, if you
okay.
can't handle an orange, have a mandarin with your little baby hands.
See, I go the opposite.
And your
I think
baby
that
mouth.
I think that a mandarin is a more refined orange.
That's my feeling
Really?
too. It's the thinking
I'm not
man's
saying,
orange.
yeah, but
See,
I'm
I'm
not saying
thinking,
it's,
I
it's
think
not sexier. It's,
I'm thinking a grapefruit is your thinking man's orange.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Wow, that's really crazy.
level up from orange to mandarin to then level up to grapefruit.
Yeah, see,
That
nah,
feels-
to me, it's the other way. It's mandarin, then orange, then
Then
grapefruit.
grapefruit.
But
That's
orange
in
is like
terms of
a-
size, I guess.
Yeah, true.
That's
I
what
wasn't
orange-
thinking of size.
Orange is like I'm 4 and I'm playing sport.
Yeah.
Here's an orange.
Nah, see, orange is like you're 12 and you're playing
Yeah.
sport. Mandarin is like, oh, well done, baby. You can peel your own mandarin.
They are easier to peel.
Yeah. Are
He's
they?
right. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
dude. You tried peeling an orange with your hands?
It's
Yeah.
a nightmare.
In
It's-
America, they
wow.
call them easy peel oranges.
Yeah. They've got to this peel is just it comes away.
Huh.
Yeah.
A lot to think about.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot to
yeah.
think about in this episode. A lot of fruit opinion.
Yeah.
Where's pear for?
Pear's sexy.
Pear's sexy.
Pear's
Pear's a
sexy
sex-
as hell.
Pear's
dude.
a sexy
Pear or
apple.
apple?
Sexier than
Yeah.
apple. Sexier than apple. By
But the
far.
apple, though, is often used as the forbidden fruit.
That's true. But
I don't find misogyny sexy.
Mm.
So
got you
that's
there.
why I'm on that.
Yeah.
But also, I think in the Bible, it's a fig. I think
Well,
more
it's a-
traditionally
it's just
instead
a
of an
fruit.
apple, it's just a
Fig,
fruit.
sexy.
Figs
Yeah,
are sexy.
Exactly. How can you like not kill a wasp and be? Come on, man.
Yeah, I
It's
think
the
it was
sexiest thing.
That's
I
sexy,
have
dude.
like I know what figs look like, but if
Yeah.
someone says fig, my brain immediately pictures a stick every single time.
Interesting.
I don't know why.
Interesting.
In my head, I'm just like a fig is a stick.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. For me, my fig mystery is that I've tasted a fig many times. But if you say, what is a fig? I don't know.
taste like? Yeah.
They don't really have a taste. They have a texture.
Yeah.
Kind of gross texture.
Yeah.
But I think a fruit doesn't have to be
Fig
good
seems
to
like
be
a
sexy.
fruit that you would love. I can imagine you bursting into the stew being like, just drank my fig juice.
Oh, fig juice sounds.
Fig
oh,
juice sounds rank,
just
dude.
rank.
But it's
Or I got fig lemonade. Or
Yeah.
like, oh, they had a fig flavored milk.
I would drink a fig if
And then
oat milk brought out fig flavored milk.
It's just regular chocolate milk, but with lumps, like a grain to it.
Yeah. And in this
gritty.
situation, it's really easy to imagine you bursting into the door, but also panting because you've literally just finished sucking down the milk.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and as we've discussed many a times on every podcast we've ever done, you drink wrong.
Yes.
I
I
and it
do
makes
remember.
you tired.
I've seen like that. Do you remember? It was when I forgot we had to record a bunch of Shut Up a Second classics, and I came over here as quickly as I could, burst into the front, like the house part of the studio, with a half-eaten hot cross bun in one hand. Just with like, I remember bursting. You were just having a nice, normal conversation, and I Kramer style exploded into the house.
Mouthful of
Y'all
food.
remember hot cross buns?
Yeah.
Well, then you were
the
like,
thing
what?
is because he didn't want the hot cross bun.
Yeah, he
and he started
give it
bitching
away.
about it. And we're like, what are you talking about? He's like, I got it before I even like entered
I got
the,
it
like,
before I got in the Uber.
Yeah.
Because I
and-
Ubered over here, and then I had to hold it in the Uber the whole way.
And we're like, you walked past bins.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyone want this? No.
No, it's half eaten. Yeah, man. Good times. So
Pomegranate.
Sexy. Sexy, dude. Sexy.
What feijoa? You guys familiar with the feijoa?
Good
What's
luck.
a
Yeah,
feijoa?
delicious.
It's a New Zealand delicacy.
Okay.
Sexy.
It tastes. You only ever get them in like a plastic bag
Yeah.
from someone who's like, "Please eat these feijoas." Like there's too many at
Yeah.
I've
once.
always pronounced them feijoas.
Oh,
But like, again, I could be stupid.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I don't. My
But then again,
Kiwi
I got
parents
that,
say
yeah.
feijoas, but also, who knows?
I got
Yeah,
it
yeah.
from my dad. He's not, from New
No,
Zealand.
at all. Yeah.
My parents moved to Australia and were like, "Well, we can't live without feijoas," and planted a feijoa tree.
What do they taste like?
They taste amazing. They're kind of like fizzy and sourish. They're like a lolly, kind of.
I want
Whoa.
feijoa.
But have you ever
Interesting-
smelled deep
interesting
heat?
Yeah.
texture.
Yeah.
Every time I smell deep heat, I'm like, someone has feijoas.
Whoa.
That's what they smell like.
What's the texture like?
It's like a almost like a fuzzy soft.
Yeah, it's like
What the
it's like
fuck?
a much firmer kiwi fruit.
Whoa, that sounds
You
good.
cut them in half and scoop them out.
Because I'm not a big fan of soft fruit.
No, me either.
I like if I want a pear, I want an underripe
crisp
pear.
Me too. Yes.
I don't. It's soft. It's disgusting.
biting into like a pear, or like an apple, and just mushy.
Yuck.
Yuck.
I don't like mangoes for that reason. Like it's too
Oh,
squishy,
mangoes are the
dude.
exception for me.
Yeah.
Mangoes. I like a mango. I wouldn't call them sexy.
They're not.
I think
They're
the
I
thing.
think they are.
delicious.
I think
they
yeah,
are.
but I think we're falling into the problem of there's a lot of fruits that just represent tits or dicks.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's all. You can really make that with any
Yeah.
fruit.
Yeah.
Well, see, my problem is I imagine any fruit and then sex. and then I'm like, that would be sexy. Nude and sucking down a mango. Yeah, that's hot as
You've
hell.
only ever had sex at like a fruit platter event.
Yeah, and market stalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you would.
It's because the mango, like the stone, the pit is like huge.
You have to really suck.
Yeah, but you gotta
this-
slurp that
Yeah.
That's too
stone.
messy. Oh no! Now come around
Stop
to it.
doing that.
It's yeah.
Why are you acting out the suck?
Well, I feel like you're not getting it.
No, I feel like
No,
you're.
I get it. It's like I guess someone who's starving feasting. I get it.
Yeah,
Nah,
exactly.
Mango's
It's sexy, dude.
I worry that what you enjoy about sex is the noise.
Yeah.
It is a big part of it.
You're like an auditory.
Well, it would be scary to have sex in absolute silence, you know?
Yeah. Well, I guess someone wasn't raised Catholic.
Yeah.
I certainly wasn't.
Yeah. Fruit
Yeah.
platters are a traditional food, at least in pop culture at orgies.
That's true.
Something to think about.
So I guess fruit is sexy or can be associated with sex. I mean, I know we already knew this,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That might just be they don't want to give out cutlery.
Yeah, that's true.
that's true.
yeah.
But then it's like what?
But
All
sushi,
finger foods?
sushi is not sexy, and that's always incorporated
yeah,
into.
into an
I don't
orgy.
understand
Is it?
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, 'cause
why?
it's finger food.
But like
Yeah.
it's like room temperature plus
Yeah.
the heat of the fucking.
yeah, dude.
This is the thing.
fish has cooked.
There's something about American portrayal of like sexy events that
Yeah.
involve raw seafood, like seafood. in
yeah,
some-
a
there's always-
big sea bass.
And it's always like
uncooked.
you're in the mid, and like it's made me, because I have consumed so much American media.
Yeah.
It's made me terrified of like seafood based food poisoning, even though I've never lived somewhere that wasn't quite near the sea.
Yeah.
And they're doing like an orgy with crab legs in
Yeah.
the middle of Minnesota. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah,
Ew.
of course that's going to be a
That's, you're
food
gonna
poisoning
get
situation.
sick from that. Yeah,
Getting
dude.
diarrhea at an orgy would be
Oh.
unfortunate.
Unfortunate and humiliating.
It's my Nora Ephron parody book, Diarrhea at the Orgy.
It's like I'm here for the orgy.
Oh, yeah, I'm imagining you're driving on the way there, very excited. You get that gurgle in your stomach.
I could power through.
That's
Maybe
a,
I just-
that's a sitcom plot somewhere.
yeah, oh yeah.
And you
then-
don't want. Oh, you
I
don't
would
don't want to
love
miss
to
the
watch.
orgy because you're on the shitter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, what's worse? I mean, obviously, shitting yourself mid-fuck is worse.
Worse.
But the idea of sitting on the toilet, just shitting your guts out,
Yeah.
hearing people have a great time.
Yeah, and
you
then
finally
people are
finish, you're kind of
knocking.
shaky.
No, but like you finish having diarrhea. I'm so sorry, but you finish having diarrhea. You're not going to be confident enough in how clean you are to go participate in an orgy.
Hopefully the orgy will have like, wet wipes or,
Or
a
a
bidet
shower.
or a shower.
But even
That's
then-
very
But
funny
you're
to be you're there in like, there, or, bracing on the walls,
Trembling.
locking the doors locked. Everyone's like, guy, come
Hey,
on.
let us in. We want to
Completely
fuck in the
naked because
shower.
I've had to take off
Yeah.
all my
Oh, yeah,
clothes.
so sweaty.
Sweaty,
So
yeah.
sweaty.
But also, like, say we're at the orgy. I've been in there the whole time. I come out and I'm like, I think it's past. Are you going to want to have sex with me? No.
What if I did whatever you had?
Yeah, it's not. You don't know that it's not contagious.
Yeah. Also, if you're fucking and you press on the wrong part of your body, are you going to shit again?
Exactly.
That's a fear.
And I'm worried that you've brought cholera to this party.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man.
It's very funny to imagine this conversation, but you're, like everyone's mid-coitus and
Yeah, we're
stopped
fucking, and we're
and
like,
just turned
Sorry,
to look at me.
dude. Like, if you
Dude.
just want to step back a bit.
Go home.
Yeah, dude.
Is there a body swap diarrhea scenario in Freaky Friday?
Body swap diarrhea
diarrhea.
scenario. I often say, or at least I said in some episode recently, that we say sentences on this podcast that have never been said before by a human being. And I think body swap diarrhea scenario falls into that category.
I don't think Freaky Friday has a diarrhea situation, but the Change Up starring Jason Bateman.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they
Ryan
diarrhea into a
Reynolds?
fountain in that
They
movie?
piss into a fountain.
Is that how they switch
Yeah.
brains?
Okay.
Ooh.
And one
Yeah.
of them's like, man, I wish I was single. The other one's like, man, I wish I was married. And then immediately it's like, dude, I'm going to fuck your wife as you.
Yeah, that's bad,
That's
dude.
some complicated emotions
Yeah, that's
going on in
like-
that relationship.
It's rape in such a new, unique way.
Yeah.
No one's done it like that
It's
before.
fun. Hollywood keeps inventing
Yeah,
new
they're
ways to do
innovating.
rape.
Yeah. And it's just like, the first thing that I guess is that Ryan Reynolds says in Jason Bateman's mouth, as Jason Bateman in Ryan Reynolds' body, you're like, that's my wife you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh no,
okay.
get
the
out of there,
first
buddy.
words you said.
Yeah. In Freakier Friday,
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis and
Lindsay Lohan.
Lohan, they're not swapping with each other this time.
They're swapping with Lindsay Lohan's daughter and Lindsay Lohan's daughter's friend.
Yes.
Who's
So it's-
English?
Who's English?
Yes.
Very
Okay,
true.
so who goes where?
Grandma is friend. Jamie Lee Curtis' friend.
Yep.
Lindsay Lohan is daughter.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Lindsay Lohan's actually doing a traditional Freaky Friday.
Yeah. She's hitting, well, that means she's hit all generations. She's
That's
swapped with her mom
true.
and swapped with her daughter. She has clocked Freaky Friday.
That's crazy.
Does that mean friend is in Jamie Lee Curtis's body?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
that's the most random.
Yeah, that's
scenario.
bizarre. Like,
what lesson is she learning?
who? It's so funny to imagine being like going to your friend's house and being like, "I have beef with your grandma."
Can I guess, because there's in the trailer, there as Jamie Lee Curtis looking in the mirror, and she's like, oh my God, I'm gross and old and wrinkly.
Which is a mean thing to make
really
Jamie Lee
mean.
Curtis
yes,
do.
yeah. Very true.
So I'm guessing maybe the friend. I'm thinking, are they is this like, oh, they're an influencer, like a beauty influencer? or
Oh,
something
the
like
lesson
that,
they have to learn
where
is
they're-
like vanity related.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's all about like youth and whatever.
That's
and
a funny
actually
Actually, that makes
understand
sense because later in the trailer, the two, so Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan,
yeah.
be awesome if I can remember characters.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
They're like, they have like there's like a discussion about a hot entrance.
Yeah.
So it seems like
Yeah.
that they both are vain.
That's funny then, because does that mean before the Freaky Friday, Lindsay Lohan's daughter's friend was like, "Dude, your grandma is ugly,
Yeah.
Wow, bro.
your
talk
grandma
about
is
wrinkles.
yuck. Dude. What?
She's in the, I feel like that she's like a, oh, am I confusing it with a different movie? Did Jamie Lee Curtis in the first one like work in fashion though?
Maybe.
No.
I don't think so.
Because Lindsay Lohan is in a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she thinks her mum is lame.
Yeah.
And then she realizes that her mum's not lame because she can play guitar.
Yes.
Mum can't play guitar. Lindsay
Oh.
Lohan playing guitar
Yeah.
in that scene.
Oh,
The-
right.
Yes. But doesn't Lindsay Lohan teach in
No,
Jamie Lee Curtis's body teach Jamie Lee Curtis in Lindsay Lohan's body to play guitar?
No.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
No,
Oh.
she's playing her guitar. She's Jamie Lee Curtis's thing is like it's like meant to be like a rock star moment.
Yeah.
and Lindsay Lohan's like, fuck,
Oh,
we're
that's
not gonna
right,
swap
yes.
back. Lindsay Lohan. So in Jamie Lee Curtis's body,
Yeah.
She is playing guitar off to the side.
Yeah,
of
well,
the stage.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan's body
Is miming.
Is miming it. Yes, that's right. Okay.
What does Jamie Lee
Right.
Curtis do in the first? Is she just a stern
She's just a businesswoman, I
businesswoman?
think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that
had
the
my
sort
little
of gist
machine.
of it is mums are lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, actually,
Which is the
mums
gist
are
of
cool.
like a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what, okay, then what is Lindsay Lohan's daughter learning? Is she learning the same lesson Lindsay Lohan learned in the first one?
What were the lessons?
But
It was
in-
just that, hey,
Everyone's life is hard.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It's like, it's like, oh, we've solved the mother-daughter. We're mad at each other. We didn't see from each other's perspective. Now we've walked in each other's shoes. Actually, everyone's got it tough. I should give you more space. That's funny then if that's the same issue because Lindsay Lohan in
She's
her
a
daughter's...
psychiatrist.
Huh? Okay. So
Not fashion.
Lindsay Lohan in her daughter's body should just be like, oh, I've done this.
Yeah. Okay.
It's- we're actually
it's
right. Oh,
generational.
Generational
yeah,
thing.
Get it,
Okay,
get
so
it,
like
get it,
your
get it.
life is hard, my life is hard.
done.
And we'll swap back.
Yeah. Maybe that's like maybe they tried that. They're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like,
true.
that's not the lesson.
Oh,
I feel like there was an element of like Jamie Lee Curtis was like, "Don't dress so sexy,"
Yes.
and then Lindsay Lohan was like, "Fuck you," and then they swapped bodies, and then Lindsay Lohan was like watching her get objectified or whatever, and it's like, "Oh, I understand your." It's like, no, that's not really the lesson though.
Yeah. It's not really what she was trying to get across.
It's not like, "Oh, you're right, I
Yeah.
should cover up more," but it's like, no, the world's bad.
Yeah.
The lesson there is the world's bad.
I
not
don't.
you.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there was, but no way that movie ends with Lindsay Lohan being like, "I will dress more conservatively."
No.
I don't. That would be crazy. But also maybe I don't know. I think it ends with we got the evil Chinese restaurant too. Whose wedding are they at the end?
So
Yeah. Yes.
the wedding they're at is Tess's wedding, which is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
She's getting married.
Yeah.
Okay. To whom?
A guy called Ryan.
Oh, is it
Played
like,
by?
oh, I don't think that old people deserve love?
It's
That's the lesson?
well,
Yeah.
And the lesson is that
Yeah.
they do.
They do
They
deserve
do,
love. Is that
and
what
they
we're
are
saying?
both of them are forbidding each other from. So
Oh, you can't get married, Mum. You're an old bag. You can't date. You're too young.
Yes.
I see.
Oh, we've now,
Lindsay
we've now
Lohan's
Freaky Friday.
character's name's Anna.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Anna is
Can't
trying
believe I
to.
didn't remember how male-centered this movie was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Tess and Ryan get married, and Anna and Jake start dating.
Okay.
But I don't know what causes the.
So it's not really a like.
So Anna is like, Mom, Dad only died 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't date. Fuck you. And I guess Tess is like, you're too young to date.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
and so they learn
also-
that you're not
So
too
guitar's
young.
not a huge element.
Yeah.
Well, the band is called Pink Slip, which is
Okay.
Okay.
and
What's
like
that?
Isn't pink slip something you get fired?
Yeah.
Pink Slip is
Is
your
it a
car
high school thing?
No, Pink Slip is your car registration.
Is it?
Yeah, if you race the Pink Slips,
Oh yeah.
it means you race to win their car.
Yeah. And then I guess the old woman at the Chinese restaurant sees them bickering.
So yeah,
Magic. An opportunity for grandma.
Is that two people bickering? I see.
Time for
My
grandma to pull her
specialty.
favorite trick. Yeah.
Her family. No.
oh yeah, and Anna isn't actually in Pink Slip. She's auditioning to be in Pink Slip, but the audition's the same night as the wedding
Okay.
rehearsal. So I think that's also the.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
wanna,
it's like you don't understand my priorities.
Yeah.
And you don't understand my priorities.
So still male centric, but not quite as bad as
Yeah,
just
yeah,
being
yeah.
like, you're not allowed to get married. Well, you're not allowed to date.
Yeah.
Oh no, we swapped because that's also fucked up.
Do you think Jamie Lee could, like,
I
do you
do
reckon
like
you could
the-
bounce back from that?
Which
Just
bit?
from Freaky Fridaying with your
yeah,
dad,
you'd have a
say, or your
psychotic
mom.
break.
Yeah. I think just knowing that Freaky Friday is real,
that's
because
what-
you'd have to really grapple with like, did that happen or did I just fucking
Yeah.
lose my mind?
And then I think with the new one, it happens again. You're like, well, this is my life. Because, one off, you're like, maybe
Well,
it's a fluke.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
I hate to reference the trailer that we all watched,
Yeah.
but at the start it seems like they've like accepted that the Freaky Friday happened, but they don't like talking about
Yeah.
it because
Yeah.
the fortune teller's like, "Whoa, you've walked in each other's shoes, what? Huh?" And they're like, "All right, that's
Yeah,
enough."
we're out. It was
yeah.
actually a
I
really
would say,
bad
why,
time for us.
Why
yeah.
keep going
things together like that, where it seems like that you're going to get Freaky Friday
Yeah,
again.
why go to a fortune teller in the first place?
Well-
that seems like
the first
asking
one was
for trouble.
Yeah.
Again,
First one was a Chinese restaurant.
yeah, like I'd be like, well, yeah, it was a Chinese restaurant. It was fortunate. We no longer eat Chinese food.
Right.
As
yeah,
a family,
true.
that's
off the
verboten. No,
table.
thank you. But going to see
Going to see a fortune psychic. How's that going to hurt
different.
us?
That's different. That's 100%. Like, surely two people
we've
can't
made
have
this-
the same the powers here, right?
It's not going to happen again.
Like,
Made
that would
the
be
psychic a
absurd.
white woman.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and actually, canonically, the fact that they have moved it to a white side, it makes sense within the universe of Freaky Friday, you know?
yeah, I guess maybe the lesson they learned is don't go near Chinese people.
Which isn't a lesson that I think the movie should
I think
It
you're
was a
right.
bad lesson
Yeah.
for
Walt
sure.
Disney was not what I was aiming for, but I'll accept it.
He's like, I'm usually saying that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I guess it would, at first, like, yeah, I think it would rock my shit the first time, and then would rock my shit even harder to be like,
Well-
it happened again,
I'd be so
and it
scared,
wasn't
dude.
to do with the Chinese
And it got
restaurant.
bigger this time. There's
Ah,
more
fuck.
people
Well,
involved.
I think, like, you see in the trailer
got the
again that
double.
they go the other way, which is just like, it happens again, and they're like,
Okay,
yep, here we
this
go.
shit,
Let's
dude.
fucking figure this out.
Yeah.
But then that's also going to be an interesting dynamic because they know they need to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because all rules are out the window because this is a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
This isn't to do with like Chinese food
It's not-
based.
fortune cookies didn't do this to us.
even
Yeah.
if you recovered from the first time,
Yeah.
and you could like compartmentalize it enough to be like, well, as long as we don't go to any Chinese restaurants,
Yeah.
this won't happen again. If it happened the second time, you'd be like, this could happen at any moment.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
I just
We
need to
have
have
no
one
control.
disagreement with
Zero.
somebody.
An oak tree could have this power.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you've
shit.
spoken about this before, Jackson.
Yeah.
I feel like that it's come up on a podcast before where your biggest fear with being Freaky Friday is not being Freaky Friday, but once it happens once.
Yeah, you've opened the seal.
In fact, I think
Exactly.
this is we're rehashing so much because
Yeah.
now I remember you being like,
Yeah.
like if I have a disagreement with the dog,
yeah.
it's impossible to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
You're
first
trapped.
off-
I'm a dog man for the rest of my life.
Not every situation you can learn a lesson from.
You
Yeah.
open the floodgates,
What if you
and
swap-
also it's like, how do you genuinely be like, hey, I have Freaky Friday with somebody, and
Yeah.
like have someone else believe you?
Well, I guess
You just can't.
because usually you just be like, okay, the two people involved in the Freaky Friday situation just need to be like, all right, you just need to pretend to be me, I need to pretend to be you.
Yeah.
We need to learn a lesson.
Maybe they don't know that they did learn a lesson.
Yeah, I'm trying
Maybe
to remember.
only we, the viewer, know about the lesson.
That's a good
I'm
point.
trying to
no,
remember how it resolves. I think they do have like a. They do have like I feel like there's like a hug they have, and then it's like and they've swapped back.
yeah,
So they.
it happens just before. It happens at the wedding rehearsal.
Yeah. So presumably you would maybe over time at least put two and two together and be like,
The fortune teller also
However-
tells them basically
Yeah,
they learned a lesson.
However,
yeah.
However, in the trailer, we do see Jamie Lee Curtis and Friend
Yeah.
run at each other
Yeah.
Yes,
to try
that is
and
true.
switch back. So they don't know shit.
Yeah, that's a
The
good
problem
point.
with making sequels to things like this because it's like you can't do the same bits twice.
Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are running at each other, so they're the two that aren't involved in the.
Why are they doing
it doesn't even make
I was
sense.
half paying attention.
Yeah.
I thought
No,
it was
I
the
thought
Friend.
it was Friend.
Yeah, wasn't it? Isn't it Friend? Because it's like Jamie Lee Curtis and Friend just slamming into each other.
Yeah.
But then
Because they're the ones at Freaky Friday.
Yeah. Why would they not
Because if it wasn't, then that makes no sense.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan in this movie
Yeah.
have the younger people in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But-
so if Jamie Lee Curtis,
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, sorry.
and
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan body are slamming into each other, that makes
Yeah.
no sense because they're not Freaky Friday with each other.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but then it is.
Why
But it is.
Is it on the trailer?
Jamie Lee- I'm
If
pretty sure
only there
Jamie
was a
Lee
way we
Curtis,
could-
yeah.
Oh well.
Anyway, what do we?
It's crazy if the lesson is you should accept yourself and aging and you shouldn't like base all of your worth on your physical
Yeah.
beauty.
Yeah.
Considering the only news about Lindsay Lohan in the last year has been, wow, she's got plastic surgery and she looks fine.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
Like she's honestly a bad cast for that to be the lesson.
yeah, but isn't her thing with the plastic surgery though that she went? Because isn't there a lot of like she kind of destroyed how she looked?
Yeah.
Like
In protest?
no, as in like she did try and go down the traditional plastic surgery route,
Yeah.
and then kind of ended up looking unrecognizable. And now the work she's had done
Oh, he's
is
been
kind
like a
of
reversing the
more
plastic
of a reverse,
surgery.
so she looks more naturally.
But that's the thing is it's still a like, oh wow, she looks not like she looked fucked before
Yeah.
because she was trying to maintain her youth and beauty, which is
Yeah.
a thing we expect of women constantly.
But then I guess the lesson might still land though, because she in
Well, I
real
think
life has tried to undo it.
You couldn't do it
Yeah.
without Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah,
the
but
thing.
that's the thing,
You couldn't do
yeah.
a Freakier Friday with somebody
Well,
else.
this is the seventh entry in Freaky Friday movies. There's Freaky Friday. There's 4 movies called Freaky Friday.
Yeah, okay.
Because they made a reboot like a couple of years ago and people just
that's
forgot
right,
about
They
it.
made a
too.
reboot.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Because there's the original one was in the 70s.
Yeah.
Then there was another Freaky Friday in 95. Then Freaky Friday in 2003, which Freakier Friday is a sequel
What was
of.
the 95 one? Who was in the...
Good question. Was it a TV movie that I
Shelley Long and Gabby Hoffman.
Yeah.
It is it's another Disney movie.
It always just makes me think of there's a scene. Have you guys seen Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23?
No.
No, but I'm familiar with who the bee is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's that been?
The bee is Aaron Paul's girlfriend from it's Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
And
What's her
also
name?
Jane in Breaking Bad.
Mm.
Well, James Van Der Beek is in that show and he plays himself.
Dawson's Creek
Yeah.
guy.
Whoa.
He's just James Van Der Beek, and
Yeah.
I didn't know who that was either. But he got he like one of the episodes is he gets a role where he's like it's like the most complex role of my career. I'm playing the only genre of body swap we haven't done before,
Yeah.
which is father daughter, and they like start filming it, and it's like the Kiernan Shipka, I think the girl from Mad Men plays
Yeah.
the little girl, and he's like, "Well, you ruined my presentation with to the boss," and James Van Der Beek is like, "Well, you got my period during cheer practice," and the whole crew is like, "Oh, we can't make this. This is awful." Every time any body swap movie, I'm just thinking about that scene of James Van Der Beek pretending to be a 13-year-old girl, being like, "Well, you got my period at cheer practice."
That's great.
So
Like that's a thing she can control.
the original Freaky Friday from the 70s has 2 sequels, and I think they should make these instead.
Yeah.
So the follow-up to Freaky Friday is called Summer Switch,
Whoa.
which stars the husband of... Sorry,
Does that imply that the original Freaky Friday happened in winter?
Yeah.
Because
well, it happened on a Friday, and I guess now the Summer Switch is happening in summer.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Day of the week irrelevant.
Yeah.
So
well, that's the thing because it's not just one day. The movie's like
that's-
multiple days.
Why don't they do Freaky Friday and then do other days? of the
Yeah.
So Summer Switch is the father and son swap.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that's fair
Pretty
enough.
classic. That's where I would go next.
And then
in a
the third
franchise.
film in the series is called A Billion for Boris.
Okay.
Rich man,
Rich Man
and a dog.
Yeah, or Rich Man, a performing bear.
And A Billion for Boris is about the son, so the person that's involved in the body swap in
Yes.
Summer Switch,
Yeah.
who obtains the possession of an old TV set, and after some time repairing it, he quickly discovers that the small screen, through inexplicable means, broadcasts news for the following day. After realizing that, he approaches his sister
Yeah.
from the original Freaky Friday
Yeah.
and her boyfriend Boris.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
we make bets on tragedies.
So the Anna from Freaky Friday and Boris.
Yeah.
So Lindsay Lohan is in the third one.
Well, this is
From
from
the
the
70s.
70s.
Yeah.
Oh,
version,
right,
so
right, right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they decide to use its mysterious ability for their advantage, with Boris considering its monetary advantage. As time continues, the trio begin to question the ethical ramifications of their actions and must decide whether to continue with their plans or to get rid of the new TV.
Don't get rid of the new TV.
That's
you
Put
keep
it in a
awesome,
cupboard. Just stop
dude.
looking at it.
How is
no,
that
you
a-
keep watching that. You keep watching
How is
that.
that a sequel to Freaky
I
Friday?
don't
It's
know,
like
because
body swap, body swap, magic TV.
Because once Body Swap is on the table, fucking everything's available.
Magic is
Curses
real.
are here, boys. Except
Imagine walking into the
I'm
boardroom.
writing one where we body swap with a Fijoa.
All right, here's my sequel to Freaky Friday. Lindsay Lohan's back and she's got a car that can fly.
well, I was thinking because if we look at the Look Who's Talking, we have Look Who's Talking two, then Look Who's Talking now, and it goes baby, dog.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
What
this
if-
is
yeah,
inevitable.
yeah.
So what if we then instead of because we keep making jokes with Jackson and a dog. What if we got say a dog and a dog and then they switch? But it's all from perspective of the people. Do we know?
No.
Do we notice?
My dog.
My dog's gone wrong.
Yeah, my dog.
My dogs are slightly different, but
Yeah.
not in a way that
There's been a
materially
behavioural
affects
change.
my
Like
life.
a dog and a cat?
Dog and a cat, then I'm noticing it.
Dog and a cat's fun.
I'm taking them both to the
Yeah.
vet.
And then we're like, what is going on?
And then when the
Labrador on
vet's
top
like,
of the fridge.
Did you learn this from you? Look at the cat, and the cat's like,
Cat's pointing.
cat's panting like a
Yeah.
dog would, but you're like, in a cat, that's really worrying.
Hairball?
But then
Oh,
when
that would be so sad because the cat would be like, I want to go for a walk, I want to go for a walk. And they're like, cats don't go out.
we're not taking you outside, dude. And the dog's asleep on my lap.
have you
also-
ever seen videos of like, cats raised in amongst dogs?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is very adorable.
And the other way around happens too.
it's
Dogs,
also very
yeah.
adorable.
What would you swap then? You got the Freaky Friday fortune cookies.
Yeah.
So we're
Any
making
animals or people from the animal kingdom or your real life.
So wait, are we pitching a movie Freakiest Friday, or are we?
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
preaching the
yeah.
movie
Okay.
Freakiest Friday.
All right. Do you guys remember the film? I think it's called Dave.
Yeah.
Where
Meet Dave?
No, just Dave, maybe. Where it's a guy, is it Klein? Something Klein, whatever.
Kevin
he's
Kline?
He's a Kevin Klein, and he's like, looks like the president.
Okay.
And the president is, I
Yeah.
forget. And then it's a,
Why are you watching
average
made
Joe
up
man. Average Joe man, sure.
Average Joe man.
Average Joe man. He's like, they go like, right, you look like the president, and
So
the
you're like a
president
body
is
double?
whatever, and so like you're going to pretend to be the president.
Okay.
But what if we just be like, all right, so who is the most like, we try and like the opposites, right? So it's
Yeah.
like the least powerful man
Okay.
or person
The
in
least
America
powerful man.
switches with the president, and we see what happens.
Who is the least powerful man in America?
In America, tough one.
Yeah.
Australia,
Why are you looking at Jackson?
It could be like a new format of political assassination.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Yeah.
instead of actually shooting the prime minister,
Yeah.
we just body swap him with someone who actually has kindness and empathy.
Yeah.
And then we do everything possible to not swap back.
Yes. Or we swap him with a fish.
Yeah.
maybe that's what happened to Harold Holt.
They body swapped him with a fish. There's a fish on the water that's like, what is going on? That would be scary,
There's a
dude.
fish somewhere in the ocean that's creating like democracy, being like, "Hey, we're all doing parliament right now." All the other fishes are like, "We can't stop.
Brother,
we have
I'm
to
a
be in
fish.
motion."
Sorry. I was thinking gorilla and fly. That's where I was going. I
Okay,
don't know. Just what I was thinking.
that feels very like Godzilla mad scientist.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think if you give a gorilla the sentience of a fly,
yeah.
I think that happens. Both die pretty much immediately.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I
Well,
want
why is
gorilla
the-
and person.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think if I swapped with any kind of great ape, I'd just stay that way.
So, yes,
I would avoid the lesson.
Yeah.
To be a chimpanzee in people clothes is basically the dream.
Wait, so you swap with a chimpanzee?
Okay, scenario. I'm at the zoo. And I'm looking at the chimp and I say,
We've been here before.
I say, that
I
chimp's
hate
life.
this chimp.
I hate this. It's funny. I'm not looking at the chimp being like, his life's better. I'm just like, I hate this chimp. And the chimp sees me and they say, I hate this man. And then we both eat a cursed Chinese fortune cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, well, I didn't want to be at the zoo. Well, I'm not. I'm fine. I am. I'm in the chimp's body at the zoo. I've got to do this in the jungle. Okay.
Wouldn't you just try and escape from the zoo?
Well, yeah,
Or
but
do you don't
why am I
think you-
giving myself a hurdle?
being in the jungle's not a hurdle?
Well, no, because
Well,
I'm just
yeah.
I can get out of the jungle.
Yeah, and then what? You walk out of the jungle.
Yeah.
Where are you?
I say, hey, I'm a man chimp.
You're immediately kidnapped for the circus.
Well, better than the zoo.
No, the zoo's
I
better.
reckon the zoo's good
The
because
zoo's better than the circus.
Yeah,
No,
I've already
the
got people
zoo's
looking at
better
me.
than the jungle.
yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Then I can I can
Brother,
write.
you just hang out in the zoo until nighttime. You could get out of an ape enclosure.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, dude.
Well, like, yeah, or if as an ape, I have a thumb. I'm like, gesture whatever, give me something to write, or I
Yeah.
just start writing in the dirt. They're like,
Yeah.
is that what's,
But then I
what's
gotta go
going
through
on?
the whole hassle.
Yeah,
It's like a
yeah,
media
yeah.
circus.
And then I'm like,
You're
right.
writing in the dirt with your finger. This is a Freaky Friday scenario.
I've been Freaky Friday'd.
With Lindsay Lohan, the film.
Do you know that man who left the zoo
because then they
complete-
might switch you back. You just write circus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Circus.
Send me to
circus. And you start with like your little chimp mouth.
I long to perform.
I yearn for the stage.
Yeah.
I like that you're scared of the media circus, but you love the real circus.
Yeah. Well, I don't want, because the thing is, if I say I'm an ape at the zoo,
Do you think if you become a famous ape, you become like maybe an assassination target? Is that what
No,
you're
I
worried
just-
about?
No.
Is that what you're worried about?
No.
Okay.
I'm at the
I'm
zoo.
an ape. No one wants to kill me.
I'm an
I
ape.
hang out at the zoo until I get bored, and then I probably just break out and disappear into
I
the
don't
night.
know if you take it. That's
They've
easy to
got
break out
cameras
of
on
the
you all
zoo.
the time. You break out, they're going to send guys with tranquilizer guns after you.
Apes are pretty clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This happens.
Also, it might not be a tranquilizer gun because if we remember,
That's true. They might Harambe you, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
shoot the baby, not me.
And you as an ape may kill that child.
Yeah. But if I'm in the jungle,
But I can talk.
yeah.
Why are we riding?
Wait, how can you talk?
You can use an ape's vocal cords to talk. You ever heard that very terrifying?
No, don't.
There's a I forget some scientist somewhere, they were like, this ape's vocal cords could produce human speech, but obviously they don't have like the brain bits to be able to do it. But here's what it would sound like.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's really
it's
bad.
Horrid. It's horrid.
I
hate it.
already don't like monkeys at all.
Yeah, okay.
I'm very anti-monkey.
Yeah. So
Do you get Uncanny Valley from them?
Yeah, I don't like them. They're too human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They
like
also
them
about
just
because
rip
them.
off
Yeah.
your face.
yeah, I
Yeah.
like them that they're just
That's what-
guys.
Yeah.
They're just hanging. They're just chillers.
because the thing, I guess, like my dream for the swapping into an ape scenario is like, you know, like 5 years down the track where everybody's used to me being a chimp. It's not notable anymore. And then I just like go around in blue jeans and a t-shirt or whatever.
Imagine how bad it would be though going back to sleep. So after 5 years, you've come to live as a man in a chimpanzee's body,
Yeah.
and then you wake up one morning and you've swapped back.
Dude.
What would your body look like after a chimp has been driving it for 5 years?
I don't swap back into anything.
That's good.
Swap back into a grave.
Yeah.
A shallow, half-eaten grave.
Yeah, Chip's not looking after my body.
No.
dude. Tragically.
Yeah. Well, you're not looking after your body either, so maybe it's
Maybe the chip would do a better job.
the chimp switches back and
Yeah.
then just has a yearn for human food. And
Yeah.
Is it more or less likely for you, Jackson's body, to get hit by a bus with you in it or a chimp in it?
you in it.
Me in it. Yeah.
I think if you waited that long to swap back, your body would no longer be an option.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Jackson gets confused by bends in the road.
Yeah.
If he's distracted and he's walking, he'll just keep walking straight. And if the road bends, he'll just step onto the road.
Yeah.
You're like
so-
a robot
yeah.
vacuum.
Sometimes, again,
In many ways,
you
I'm
know,
like a Roomba.
We've traveled, like, you know,
Yeah.
so you know, sometimes, like, yeah, fair enough, like, you know, cars drive on the opposite side. So, you know, you could be, you know, forgive someone for not looking the right way. We were in Sydney.
Yeah.
Sydney. And yet.
And yet, dude.
And
And yet. I'm a guy with problems.
Yeah.
The buses in Sydney are vicious, though, to be fair.
Exactly. It's exactly
just-
what I'm
well,
saying.
I'm always getting sprayed with water by
I
the
am
buses
now
in
a-
Whoa,
Sydney.
Sex in the City style.
Yeah,
Whoa.
like a jilted woman in a rom-com.
Yeah.
I am
Wet
now
socks.
afraid,
Yeah.
like, me and JD are kind of, like, on a, like, path to both be just switching to your body.
Well, this
Yeah.
is my pitch.
That's true.
We should do a podcast studio Freaky Friday
Yeah.
where like lightning hits the building and we all just swap one over.
Whoa.
And then the listeners will be like, what's going on? Everyone's, well, actually, maybe they wouldn't notice. Because if they just listened to the audio,
Yeah.
Based
that's-
on the
every
way.
character would still be there.
yeah.
If I will say though, if we just took one spot over, so yeah, I go into Jackson's body, but then Jackson goes into yours, Grace. Would you trust Jackson to look after your body?
Well, no.
Yeah. Well, exactly. You don't want that. No.
Yeah.
I barely trust him to look after his own body.
Exactly. I do like the idea of everyone Freaky Fridaying into my body because I've been yelled at so much, but I've got no ill feeling toward you guys.
You're also still in there?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's like the end of the substance.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Is it
to
just
me.
like, yeah, like me and JD, just like husks, like our bodies are just like husks.
collapse.
Just so like you occasionally hear this from them.
That
While
You're
episode-
still in it a bit, I guess.
The episode of Doctor Who where the alien like absorbs people and
Yeah.
their faces are like on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, shouldn't have had a problem with me. Okay.
You open your mouth, like three voices
Should
escape.
have been. Oh my god, I'd be a one-man argument. You don't want that, dude.
Everyone's like, wow, he's really great ventriloquist.
Yeah, I don't know why his whole act is yelling at himself.
Overlapping as well.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
We should Freaky Friday with
One-man
different
podcast.
podcasts, though.
Oh, that's a good idea,
We
dude.
do go on for a week.
Bags, Matt Stewart.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
I like pies. I could be Dave Warnicky.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I was thinking, like, yeah, not people we know. Let's go like Joe Rogan.
Whoa.
Then we could get some like stuff done.
Yeah. People come on my show. I say, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Hey man, you're a moron.
Hey man, you're an idiot.
That's the dumbest shit I think I've ever
Well,
heard.
we could get. I mean, I'm sure even Joe. I mean, I know that Joe Rogan would make it seem effortless, but I
Yeah.
reckon because I was like, we could like do a podcast with Trump and do some real damage.
Yeah.
Or like do some real healing more likely.
I know there are several like male comedian podcasts that exist that I'm like, if we can get over there and we could really
Get us in there.
fix some misogyny.
Absolutely.
that
Do
they're
some
just sort of
damage
broadcasting.
Yeah.
Misogyny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put me into Tate or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. Send me to jail.
Fair.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Give me the chair.
I
You should
wasn't
kill
in
me and my
charge.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I die, but actually I've died, and Andrew Tate in my body's like, and I survived.
Yeah.
yeah.
You think you'd be happy?
Wait, no!
It's like the last scene of a horror movie where
Exactly.
like, they think they've killed the monster and then you realize that it's actually still inside someone.
Yeah, but I think that I could get Andrew Tate to kill himself if he has to
Yes.
become a co-host of the podcast we do
Yes,
with me.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, that's the aim, I guess.
Yes.
That's the goal of Freaky Friday.
So any swings for the fences for Freakier Friday?
I think it'll be a fun movie.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a laugh.
a bit of
fun.
a romp.
Yeah, I think it'll be a classic romp. Yeah, that's my feeling. I like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
I like Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah. The
new
Lindsay
actors
Lohan's
seem
daughter
fine.
looks familiar, and I was going to look up who it is and be like, are they from a thing?
Like, I don't think it's
But
going
then
to
I
win
got
any
distracted
awards,
by
but I think
a
it'll be
billion for
good.
Boris.
Yeah.
Yeah, fam. I think I'll maybe put it on when it eventually gets to Disney Plus.
Yeah,
It
nice.
is
I
releasing
think it's
straight
only
to
Disney
Disney
Plus.
Oh, brother!
Yes, dude.
In 6 months from when it's released, I may watch
Oh,
it.
actually, no. It was originally a Disney Plus movie, and they've changed it.
A
It's now
theatrical release.
Theatrical release in August.
Was Freaky Friday a theatrical release?
I'm pretty sure. I think I saw it at the
Yes.
movies.
Oh, okay.
I hope that's true. Otherwise, I'm lying.
Yeah, dude,
Do you have
that
any
would
swings
suck.
for the fences there, JD? For this wonderful film that we've spent
Freakier
so
Friday?
long really
I'm
analysing.
getting into the weeds with. Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan's daughter in it is in The Fablemans. A movie I
okay.
haven't seen, but that's cool
Okay.
that she's doing The Fablemans and then
then
Freakier
Freakier Friday.
Interesting
That is
swing
cool.
for the fence. All right, Grace, do you have any swings for the fence?
I suspect there'll be some fruit in it.
Okay. Sexy fruit or just regular?
Hard to say.
Do we
I-
think it'll be
actually-
a particularly sexy movie?
No.
No.
No, a body swap movie by its nature cannot be sexy.
Oh, okay. I think it's one of the most erotic scenarios.
But it's a mother and daughter.
Well, not this specific
Well,
one.
yeah, because your swing for the fence originally was like the friends,
Yeah.
the younger friends.
I
of-
thought they were girlfriends.
and I was like, they can't do
Yeah.
that because they've put them in the mother and daughter
Yeah,
body.
that is true.
Yeah.
Unless they're really pushing
get
some
going for
boundaries
it.
with incest.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't-
Disney's getting crazy.
Disney's just like, yep, fuck it.
It's okay if it's different bodies. That's
cool.
the
Different
message
minds?
of the movie. Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
No, you can have sex with your mom if you're in different bodies. Is the message of the Freakier Friday movie?
That would be. Yeah. I hope they don't do that.
Yeah,
My
same.
swing for the fence is that the body swap,
yeah.
when they reverse it, they think they've fixed it, but they're going to reverse back into the
The
original.
yeah.
So the friends will swap bodies,
yeah, yeah.
and Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis will swap bodies again.
Yeah,
you're
setting up
totally
for
right.
the threequel.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Can't be good for you. Like it's like going to space. Like it must
Yeah.
take years off your life.
Bad
Take
for your
a toll.
bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it gives you osteoporosis or something.
You get the bends.
Oh, you 100% would get the
Oh, yeah.
bends.
I think speaking of diarrhea, like we were earlier, you'd have an upset stomach for like a month after.
100%. Maybe the solution is scuba diving.
Yeah.
If we go deep enough in the ocean, we'll just all swap back just from pressure.
I tell you what, if it happened, I'd like that's not on the that's on the
Yeah.
table. I'd be like, maybe we gotta,
Oh, yeah.
maybe we gotta go low.
If it lasts long enough, you got to try everything.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything in my power.
Yeah. Well, good movie, I reckon.
Yeah, me too.
And on that note, I've been Joel.
I've been Jackson.
also been John.
I have been Grace
And
Jarvis.
Grace Jarvis, thank you so much for joining us. You are part of the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
I'm there.
Tell us about your show.
It's called Just Because I'm Crying Doesn't Mean I'm Not Having a Nice Time. It's about moving to the UK and working in a sex shop and falling in love. And that's, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm doing it in Melbourne for the whole month at the Town Hall. And then I'm doing Brisbane Comedy Festival and also Sydney Comedy Festival and the Edinburgh Fringe as well.
And people should head to your Instagram to find information about
I
that.
don't have a website.
Yeah.
I've got a link tree
Yeah.
Nice.
So Instagram.
that is sometimes up to date.
Yes.
Same.
Nice.
What's your Instagram handle so people can find you?
Oh, right. It's at Grace Jarvis. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's a good handle.
That is good. That's funny.
So yeah, head to at Grace Jarvis Ono. Click on that link tree. Hope it's up to date. Or look at your most recent post where you posted the show poster.
I put the poster
You'll
up.
figure it out.
I'm doing it.
And then go to
Poster's
Grace's
up.
show.
The poster's
I'm
up.
poster's
advertising. I'm
up,
starting
dude.
a podcast.
See?
Whoa!
The poster's up and there's a
huge.
podcast. What's the podcast called?
It's called The Agonies. It's about pain.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And we
You
haven't
guys-
done it yet, but I believe that me and Jackson are on an upcoming episode.
Yeah, the one that's about
Fabulous.
to be recorded this very day.
Whoa! So yeah, when you listen, now you've got a part 1 and a part 2
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
exciting.
crazy.
We won't talk about any fruit.
No,
You should.
nuts aren't a fruit, but they're close.
Coconut.
Spoiler alert.
That will make more sense in the future.
That's why you need to listen to both.
But when you listen to
Great
this,
plug.
when you listen to this,
Podcast that doesn't exist yet.
the Agonies hasn't been released yet, so you're
Yeah.
gonna have to wait, listeners. But you're gonna have to be refreshing that feed just in case.
Yeah, exactly.
Most importantly, go see Grace's
Yes.
a live comedy show. Thank you, Grace, for coming on, and thank you, listeners, for listening. And we have been Baseless Speculation, and well, wait, fuck.
We've been the BS Boys. She's been Grace Jarvis. I really need to piss, and
Me
my
too.
God, I'm like, wrap the fuck up, and it just kept going. Goodbye, everybody. I love you.
Go piss, go piss,
Everyone's
go piss.
pissing their pants right now, except me, who pissed before the episode. Goodbye.